Gemini, this is all about 2025, the month of February. And holy man, it's good because Jupiter is heading direct in your sun, moon, or rising sign. And so, Gemini, you are moving forward and you are going to slingshot into the goodness that you are ready for in your career, in your home, or in your whole life. And you're going to be making some extremely positive, lucky things happen as Jupiter is on Team Gemini. And February is full systems go. Now, it's also a very strong focus on your career and your reputation and what you want to achieve up there in the month of. It's a good month to be you for sure, as Jupiter on February 4th will be going direct, and it will affect every area of your life. But particularly, there's a huge focus in the month of February on the amplification of success in the career path as you have lucky breaks, move forward with new gusto. If it's not your career, it's things that you're doing in the world that matter to you, that feel purposeful and somewhat meaningful, that other people acknowledge you doing in the world. So we're going to start now by talking about the sky in a chronological order, and I'm going to start sharing my chart. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, fixed stars and minor asteroids. You got the drill. It's helping you time your life using astrology as a navigational tool. This is Western Tropical, though, not Indian or Vedic astrology. We're also going to be talking today about how to listen. So your sun sign is career and purpose, your moon sign is your body, home, and how you might feel about your life, perhaps. And your rising sign is the avatar in the game of life, your simulation character, and often things that happen to the rising sign connections will indicate very visible outer circumstantial changes. So you can listen for all three in my All Signs video series. Speaking of all signs and videos and things that we're up to here, did you guys know that my 2025 All Signs videos individual or bundle is already out, and you can have 2+ hours of navigational guidance for the year of 2025, plus a PDF guidebook. It's in my description box, and the sale ends at the end of January. Grab it before the sale is over. Also, you could check out my Venus class. I'm going to be teaching a Venus class. I'll be getting more into that when I talk about Venus in the sky, but it's 6 weeks. It's very affordable. It starts March 1st. Come join me on what I'm calling Liberate. Venus is breaking through bounds of through what we desire, what we love, what we want, what we wish to achieve in life through harmony and peace and kindness. And in each of our lives, we're having a beautiful and not seen since 2017 type of Venus retrograde. So check that out below too. Come join me in that live class, and replays will be available. Description box, more button, click it. All the information is down below. I'm going to show you the sky. I'm recording from my office where I'm sitting on a day bed. I'm trying to mix it up here, find some different spots. The window ledge is fine, but quite often I'm what do you call it? Moving and fidgeting a lot there because I can't get quite as comfortable as I can on my day bed. So this is why we're here today. All right, so first of all, let's get going, talking about you and the sky. Let me get you a little closer to me so I can read the chart. Let's start off with this. Hope I'm not screaming into that mic. It's awfully close. Let's start off with the beginning of the month, Venus, right? Venus is February 1st to the 3rd-ish, around there, going to be in a conjunction to Neptune. And if we wait till the 2nd, it's even better, because on the 2nd of February, see, on the 1st of February, even on the 2nd, no, Venus conjuncting Neptune. Yeah, there she is. So Venus is co-joined with Neptune on February 1st. And then by the time we move to February 2nd, not only is she still connected to Neptune and the North Node in a rare triple conjunction. I'll be covering that in that week ahead video. It's pretty profound. But she's also free of the shackles, the rock in a hard place, the straitjacket that she'd been feeling in your career space ever since around the 20th of February. And it could be a constriction in your reputation, how the public sees you, how you feel about being in public, how your job or work is going. I think for me as a Gemini sun, that me declaring I might have ASD, neurodivergent, all of that, and having some real weird flack from people who say I'm too high functioning and telling me to shut up. Some people like that, really gnarly stuff. And I'm like, okay, so maybe I won't talk about it on this channel, and I'll find another channel to create. But that's kind of me probably feeling stuck between a rock and a disclosure hard place. So that's my sun, my career, my Gemini progress sun. Now, always use your natal positions before progressions. So you can break free of something You can feel exhilarated, dream come true, destined, long-lasting results or attainment of a longer vision, beginning to emerge into the light of the sky, the high noon of the sky on the 2nd of February. However, Venus has to come back and finish some business here. And the first week of April and around April 24th, she has 2 more malefic enclosures. So the story isn't over yet. She still has to work a few things out in this part of the heavens. So you have to be patient with her. She's still not quite sure how to break all the way free and liberate. The name of the Venus course, liberate in terms of career, reputation, and purpose matters. If you're retired, you must do something in the world. You must do something that people witness you doing. Otherwise, you're in bed all day. Hopefully, you do. Even if you were in a jail, what are your jailmates and people around you see you doing? That's your 10th house, your visible actions, and you're trying to break free and come into something new here, something new, something more true, something more joyful, something more pleasurable in the career space. And by the time we get to the end of April, you will have figured it out. Okay. Now we're going to talk about on the next story, February 4th, we're going to notice that Jupiter will head out of retrogradation, stationing direct. Certainly as a sun, moon, or rising Gemini, is your sun or moon or rising near 11 degrees? Let's give it like 3 degrees on either side. Because if that's the case, this is very, very, very powerful for you. It feels really close and really intimate that you are ready to move forward. That said, all of you will feel this. Ignore the ascendant there. Just ignore it. It's only there so that I can track the wheel, and it's software issues. Let me take it off, because I know someone won't tell me, why is there an ascendant there? And if I don't take it out now, I'll get some kind of weird, gnarly comments. So what is it for you, Gemini, that is true, that is good, that is wise, that is prosperous, is plentiful and lucky, that you yourself wish to embody, hold true, and operate from? Because especially you Gemini ascendants, but sun is the same things I just said, but more purpose and career oriented. And for Gemini moons, maybe about your home nest and how you feel about life. So the wisdom of Jupiter is being beset upon you in a way we saw in 2012-13, summer to summer. Jupiter this time got into here in May, into Gemini, end of May of 2024, leaves on June the 9th. And as Jupiter slingshots into direct motion, coming off of a retrograde from the 9th of October, you're looking at the kind of vibe of something about you being effusive, optimistic, expansive, leaderful, filled with faith and optimism and knowing what's good and true for you, began to sort of go inward on the 9th of October, and you went inward with it. And you might have gone inward in ways that were surprising. The guru within might have awakened, but also the sort of diminishment of all the exuberance as you had to look at a deeper level or deepen the bounty of wisdom and truth that Jupiter wants to provide for you as a sign. He goes direct. He goes direct on February 4th, and you move forward, you bounce forward, and you go in a fast speed all the way through to June the 9th with luck, with leadership, with jet propulsion on success in some area of your life. So welcome to you, and welcome to that turnaround story on February 4th. You'll notice as the turnaround happens, there's a flow to a lot of energy up in your 9th house, this little mini stellium of planets. And this is a house of Dharma, the meaning of life, God, but it's also the house of travel and distant lands. It's also the house of third marriages and the house of academic environments and going to school and publications and books. And with Mercury up there, there's a real movement forward, especially Mercury can represent ideas, writing projects, agents. There's some kind of thing that's like bounding forward on February 4th for a new look of all systems go. Why did I say a new look? Because Jupiter's traveling over old ground. He was traveling in July. What was happening in your life in July to do with all those night house themes? Like, for instance, I was in touch with an agent, Eileen, about an astrology book, and I had dropped the ball when Jupiter retrograded in October. I just became too busy. So that would be an example. Where in your travel plans, in your academic environment storylines, colleges, campuses, legal and court matters, did things sort of maybe need to be readdressed now, right? You might have been thinking about certain things in July around those matters. And now Jupiter direct says it's time to move forward. You've deepened your wisdom, your knowledge, your goodness, your truth. You're ready. You know what you need and want. You're prepared to go forward. As we move to February the 6th, Venus is going to be sextiling Pluto through till the 8th. Now, Venus sextiling Pluto can bring prosperity and wealth. In some circumstances, it brings profound transformative love. So Venus is doing this from the house of gains from one's career and the ninth house of foreigners, international publications, etc. For example, you might have a publication, a book publishing deal or something that begins to show up. You might find yourself having bounty and prosperity and wealth that Venus Pluto can create here, connected to your career gains in your 11th house, especially with the North Node amplifying your career over the next year and a half with more worldly success. But Venus here could also be a friend. Okay, there may be something positive emerging with a friend, ally, benefactor, or sibling one older than you. It may connect to the word travel, maybe connect to the word foreign lands, but something is really sweet and positive and deep and profound. Profound love, deep love, true love, cathartic love energies or friendships. And this is really activating around, as I said, February 6th to the 8th. Mars will trine Saturn for a very long time because he's moving so slow as he stations for a retrograde turnaround. But he's not retrograde turned around yet. So therefore, February 6th to February 12th, February 6th to February 12th, you're going to notice that Mars is flowing in a beautiful trine to Saturn, indicating a time for you of endurance in work and projects with like a kind of tenacity and determination, especially if you're an entrepreneur or self-starter. Mars is a self-starter and an entrepreneur in the second house. Also, when it comes to passion and drive or ambition and decisions and actions to create more money in your life through your career path where Saturn is sitting. So monetary persistence and forbearance and discipline and working hard, but in a flowing way, on something that can bring you greater financial gain in your life through your work and career and reputation space. And it might take you back to like things that were going on in October. Mars is traveling through parts of the sky that were relevant to October of 2024. And so certain things to do with work and career and money and actions and decisions are back for a second pass here. But this is so supportive because of the trine to Saturn, indicating you've got the gumption to get it done. And you'll get it done in a way that profits you and allows for greater success. So be determined, don't give up, work hard, like you did in October maybe, and trust the sky to give you what you need financially. As a result of hard work pays off, basically, economically or financially. If you wanted to quit a job or leave a certain direction in your work, you can do that under this influence as well, especially if you were thinking of doing that in October. And so you might let go of, quit, end, or surrender, or let go of some kind of path that you were on in the work environment. But you don't have to let all of it go. You might tell your boss, I'm no longer doing X, Y, and Z, or like me, I'm no longer probably doing many client readings. So if that's like a decision I made in October and I'm having a hard time committing to sticking with it, but it's probably me making that decision yet again. And opening up less spots than I imagined in the new year. Well, I'm in the new year soon. Now, I'm using these examples just because I know me and I have a Gemini Sun progress, so I can use me as an example. Next, Mercury will join the Sun on the 9th of February. This is a really positive day in the sky. If you want to put it on your calendar, this is like a kind of a merger of the divine energy with the planet Mercury, the news and information guy. Of course, Mercury is in your 9th house, and it can involve some information, opportunities, emails, phone calls to do with legal matters that are coming to your attention, maybe to do with matters to do with courts, legal matters, visas, passports, travel abroad, academic environments, courses, professors, universities, colleges, like getting an acceptance or getting a great grade. But it's also deeper than that. It's a Dharma house and it's being aligned with one's purpose. And so how can you maybe be more purpose aligned here in a kind of download? Mercury can bring a divine download here, or that pivotal phone call, text message, or email. Of course, it is a book publishing house, and maybe there's something going on there for you as well on February the 9th. You might notice that there's support from Jupiter flowing in a trine from the house of you, now direct, just a kind of lucky vibe that Jupiter's looking on for you. But there is surprises as well. And the surprises are coming off of the Algol Wealth Star Uranus direct motion event here. Now Uranus is direct, but he's on a very powerful star. It's got a lot of exhilaration, freedom, excitement, and breakthrough. When you look at Uranus, could be a breakthrough opportunity to do with travel and distant shores, commercial success from other countries and international places, something to do with a surprising backroom deal on a legal matter. Lots of good stuff here, but there's a surprising quality, unexpected quality, given that Uranus is activating this Mars-Sun conjunction in your ninth house. And, Sun Uranus energies could also be about a father figure in the ninth house, and some surprising developments about a father figure coming out of the blue at you. Information, news, Uranus is in the house of hospitals. When I say father figure, grandpa, great uncle Joe, my boss, even a father figure is like someone you would look up to, like a dad. So father figures, and a bit of a surprise, a bit of a jolt, maybe to do with the word health and hospitals. I'm not saying that for sure, but it's a possibility for some of you. There's no doubt about it. With that Sun Mercury trining, squaring Algol in the house of hospitals. There's a full moon, full at 24 degrees of Leo on February the 23rd. Fulfillment and completion and ripening of something in the third house, a writing project, an online project, a teaching class that you want to teach or take. Fulfillment, ripening, flourishing, fullness, but completion as well. Sometimes a full moon shows us what we will no longer do. It's an interesting full moon because it also, energetically at 24 degrees of Leo, I'll try to move us forward without losing the sign. At 24 degrees of Leo, just trust me, it's at 24, it's going to activate this square to Uranus as well. And therefore, there is a T-square in the sky. You can see it, that they're vaguely forming. There's something about a surprise and a fullness. Writing projects, book publishing, pack room deals and negotiations, projects you do in solitude, online revenue, online breakthroughs, breakthroughs with a younger sibling, breakthroughs with aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. These are third house people and things. An unexpected, surprising opportunity for travel to another country, for sure, coming off of that moon. And a full moon squaring Uranus. Again, it's expect the unexpected. It's really hard to say what the full moon in Leo will bring because of Uranus's input, which is something we don't necessarily foresee, but expect surprises, and you need to take action and make decisions based on the T-square on whatever this unexpected fullness is. The full moon is happening on the 12th, but it can still show you what it's about within a month after and up to 6 months after. So don't expect everything to be the day of the moon, that there's a surprise, but possibly close to that lunation, a few days after, you might know what this is. Okay. Especially within the first day or two when I won't even say that. I'll just say, surprise, because the moon is loping immediately into your fourth house, a surprising destined opportunity for a relocation of your home connected to far off distant shores and lands. Just an example, right? All right, moving into the next part of the sky. On Valentine's Day, you'll notice that Mercury, having been in your ninth house of God and foreign lands and stuff ever since the 28th of January, on Valentine's Day, Mercury's going to dip into your 10th house. And it's an interesting time because you might do a public celebration or public announcement or something on Valentine's Day about love, sweet love, but who knows what you're doing up there. It's really cool. And Mercury in your 10th house is about deals, negotiations, and communications that can take place here. To do with career and reputation matters. How long is he there? Well, he's there all the way through until March the 3rd. So he's got much of your January, in the second half of January, under his belt. As he ingresses into Pisces, you're going to notice that he's really not talking to anybody at all. It's kind of feral. He's on his own. He doesn't have a boss. He's doing his own thing. And that's indicating he's quite strong and self-reliant and independent on the 14th of the month. And there's something about that that's very pure. The 0 degrees is very lucky. And so it's a really good day if you want to put an inspiring message into the public, into the world, or into your career space. It might be surprisingly well received. Now, including asking the boss for a raise, while you put on your dreamy, Neptune, super outfit, all dressed in rainbows and unicorns, and ask the boss for a raise. That could work as well here. Something like that. You're going to have a sense of like a dreamy charm about you, or the whole conversation has a dreamy, surreal charm about it. When I look at this next part of the sky, I'm surprised. And I have to say, I've been looking at this, wondering about it. but there's a big chunk of time between February 13th and about the 19th, so 6 days, where there's no major aspects really present in the sky. And this is like a null and void time. This is like when you have no cell reception. And that's good because you're not going to be tossed about on the game board of life or grabbed by the planets, which are grabbers, the grahas. And so you're in this empty space, the stillness of nothing much happening up there that can toss you around using the major planets of the sky. And therefore, what is it you wish to create in the emptiness of this time? Because it can be very powerful. It can be that you are, without being pushed and pulled by planetary forces, able to make some kind of progress about what it is you want. Jupiter is direct in your sign. The wisdom and truth and the guru are there. And you can go inward. You're ruled by Mercury. You know, that's an important part of that Mercury cazimi or Mercury conjunction that I talked about earlier. And Mercury's in the 10th house. So for you, I would say that this null and void energy of nothing happening on the 13th to the 19th is really good for you really seriously looking at what messages that you wish to make in a very pure way, unadulterated, unencumbered by any other planetary influence as you speak into the 10th house or write into the 10th house or communicate into the 10th house with your colleagues, with your boss, with your public, with your reputation. There's something about Mercury has a very clean line with no interference. However, yes, he is in Pisces, but that's okay. That's like, I have a dream, you know, Martin Luther King's speech or whatever. It's inspiring, motivational, transcendent, dreamy, higher level communication that you might be putting into your reputation and career space. And during that void of the 13th to the 19th of February, with Jupiter in the house of you can't go too wrong, right? Santa Claus is there. Fairy Godfather's helping you out. You won't go afoul here and end up having, to retract your statement, so to speak. When we move into the next story, it is February the 20th. Oh, yes, February the 20th. And Mercury will square Jupiter. Now, Mercury now is engaging a planet. Remember, he's like, you could probably say he starts to engage anyway around the 18th, making your purest spot of the sky where you're really unencumbered, the 13th to the 18th. But around, the 19th, building up to the 18th, 19th, 20th, Mercury begins to engage Jupiter. And Jupiter is luck, growth, and opportunity, but you are lucky. You are the four-leaf clover. You don't have to get one. You are the luck. You make the luck because you are you. Your beingness is prosperous. Your beingness is good, faith, bounty, hope, optimism, truth, and wisdom. You become the Jupiter energy for this short time. It ends, June the 9th. So enjoy it while it lasts. So Mercury is squaring Jupiter. And you are going to make something out of this, and you might make an opportunity happen. You might bring yourself into a bit of luck by taking a leap of faith, Jupiter. So this opportunity is in your career, and it's around February 20th, give or take a day on either side. How can you seize the day on a lucky opportunity? By taking a leap of faith. Because whatever is going on here with the sun up there is going to be more truly on purpose, shining brightly in the top of the sky. Saturn, durability and longevity of whatever it is you're doing with destined expansion and worldly success and dreamy visionary stuff. Neptune rules all the videography platforms, including Besieged TikTok. And it's very possible that that's what the Besieged Venus story is about, is TikTok. I'll have to do a little thing on that for my YouTube channel. But you can be using the Neptune story, fantasy, imagination, photography, yes, certainly all of the audio, the visual platforms like YouTube, etc., can be very well used to your advantage in the window of time of the 19th to 21st of February. Now, on the 23rd, Mercury will trine Mars, and this is important because Mars is turning into a direct motion planet. So we're going to look at February 23rd. On February 23rd, Mars at 17 degrees will station direct. Trust me, I'm not going to click forward too much. And as he does that, he is in a flow state at 17 degrees to Mercury in the 10th house. On February 23rd, things now get to move forward that had not been moving forward ever since the retrograde of retrograde of Mars, December the 6th in Leo, your third house. And then sliding on January 6th into your second house. It's almost like Right now, you want to go ahead on things that you were addressing in the month of October, because that's the time frame, especially the first week of October, around the October 9th timeframe. Mars is at the same degree he was at around October 9th. What was going on in your world around that time? And to do with earnings, money, possessions, food style, dentists, dental work, facial procedures, surgeries on your face, dermabrasion, lasers, injectables, but also just Mars in the second house back in October, especially on the 9th, food style, getting rid of an addiction, taking time off of a substance, sober October, maybe, right? I was in sober October. It didn't go as well as I wanted. Things to do with, like I was on the autoimmune protocol diet. I was not eating any legumes and nightshades. Well, what did you do back then in October? Because Mars is doing it again, but now he's like he went back to rethink it, but now he's moving direct. And you're going to go direct and you're going to do things again, make the money, get the possessions, hustle, be the self-starter from things that were going on in October and redoing them or doing them in a different way, connected to your career, of course, because that's where Mercury is. And you may be making announcements about changes in your earning structures. You might be making communicating things and doing things in your career space that are changing the money story for you and the financial wellness from your career and reputation space. So there's a turning point here, and it's positive, and Mars is direct, and that's good. And it's a flow, it's a water trine, it's positive. Mercury and Mars are not in our most comfortable positions in the sky, but that's not the end of the world. The North Node says destined change in career and earnings and turning points that you did not have available to you in October, because the North Node was yet to emerge into your 10th house. Keep that in mind. I mean, for me, it could be an example. I'm announcing to the general public that the readings calendar closes forever, like the end of April. That's an example, because in October, I was considering that. Now, Mercury trining Mars, again, one more thing. Ideas that you can take action on, actions that support your ideas. Okay. Those are thoughts I have. Communications paired with action. Again, February 23rd, you feel this kicking off, and it's really important. A day or two before and after, it's in play as well. On February 25th, Mercury will co-join Saturn. Now that's interesting, because Mercury and Saturn together are something to do with communicate. It's two ways it works. It could be like going mute, not like Mercury shutting down. He's in a water sign. It's called a mute sign for him. So like Mercury zipping his lip at work, not wanting to talk to anybody, not wanting to say something to the boss or to the public. So it can be a kind of a shutdown around communications, a constriction or constraint, or communicating in the workspace or the public environments are hard for you at this time. You might February 25th, more important what you don't say is what you do say. However, Mercury's capable of contracts, negotiations, and deals. Saturn says structure, form, and write it out and build a contract that has a lasting value in your career. So you might be looking at a contractual agreement to do something with something that you're working on in the career space. So as an example, right? Jupiter owns the house and is watching over from you. So you are protected by Jupiter, but there's maybe a new kind of format or contractual agreement and structure in the work you do. Now, on the 27th of February, Mercury sextiles Uranus, and Mercury sextiling Uranus is a very nice eureka or an aha often, but Uranus is also surprises, and Uranus is in your 12th house, backroom deals and negotiations, and a surprise to do with your work and career, or a surprising financial uptick in international borderless income and revenue, 12th house Uranus, and your career. So something going viral, something taking off. I'm enrolling my Venus course. Maybe I'll have way better enrollment than I imagined I would have. So that's exciting. With Venus in Aries, February 4th, right? And retrograding March 1st, just keep in mind that Venus is a benefic, even in a sign of her detriment. And Venus is trying to support you in your career gains. So keep in mind that through till March 1st, she's still moving forward and wants you to achieve some significant career gains. And she's doing that in a general alignment or a general ease and flow with Jupiter. She's not having a disagreement with Jupiter. She and Jupiter are trying to find a tete-a-tete, a head-to-head of what you can possibly do in your career gains. that could be very lucrative and very successful. So let Venus support you. Now she will retrograde, okay, at 10 degrees on March the 1st. And because she never quite makes it to Jupiter at 11, it's called a refrainment. I'll be covering that on my channel. But a quick note to file would be something very prosperous in your career gains wants to be hatched, but it's not quite ready yet, and it might need to wait a bit later until she spends more time in your 10th house. But there's something trying to happen here. Now, moving on to the new moon at 9 degrees of Pisces. New moons represent a seed that will be planted. In essence, it's a new beginning. And this is a new moon at 9 degrees, and you have a stellium here. All us astrologers are looking at all the action here. Very rare. So there's a big weight on your career and your reputation and what you're doing in the visible world and what you're doing in your public life that really shows up at the end of February. And this is a big, bright energy because you have the North Node expanding and amplifying and voluming up. Yes, a dark moon, a new beginning, but on a steroid. So what is it that you're doing here that's a new beginning and a fresh start in your work and career space? It could take up to 6 months to unfold. You might see evidence of where it's really heading. Like you might get, oh, I understand where this is heading now. If you get evidence for where it's heading, the evidence tells you it's probably connected to matters to do with being more liberated and free in your expression of your career because of Venus's repeating besiegements there. And yeah, all of that. The new moon is co-present with Saturn, so any changes that are new and a new start are going to also involve the availability of longevity and having lasting results from this new beginning that a long tail on it. It's not just a flash in the pan. You only have Saturn up here with new moons in Pisces, guys, 3 times basically. So 3 times every 30 years. This is your second one. You had one last year. Is that right? So yes, you had one in 2024. No, you didn't. You didn't, because Saturn didn't get into Pisces until March. It's possible this is your first one. I'll be covering that when I do the moon video. But in other words, it's a relatively 30-year rare ability to reset your career. It takes you back to 94, 95, 96 timeframes when Saturn was moving through your 10th house. That's when I became a psychic reader and dropped my journalism career. I hope that was useful for you. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, I apologize. The new moon is supported by Jupiter in a kind of looking at it, and you're lucky as all hell anyway. So run with it, ride with it, go with it. Don't forget, in my description box, a lot of stuff that you might be interested in, especially my Venus class. You'll be able to sign up for it down below. And I'll have an early bird rate going. So by the time you get this video, the actual sign up will be there. And then it will be regular rate probably within the last 5 days before the class starts. It's live with me. It's 6 meetings by Zoom where I teach what I need you to know. And it comes with all kinds of accompanying documents that could support your journey through what I'm calling Liberate. Venus busting out, trying to bring you something in both the Pisces and Aries part of your sky. And in your case, by the way, that's your career and the great gains that you will achieve from it. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And I'll see you in the next videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, and do all the drills. That helps me grow.